into a coaching conversation, are you thinking about what question am I going to start my conversation with? The first question you should be asking yourself is, what is it that I want to accomplish out of this conversation? Coaching is not only about performance, and often people think coaching is for corrective action. Although that might be the case in some instances, coaching is often in a place of opening a conversation to unlock a person's potential, to see what they can step themselves into, what's possible for them, and then maximizing that performance. It's really coming from a place of development, being able to develop your talent so they can step into who they need to be. Hi, I'm Debra Kasowski, 3-time best-selling author, speaker, and executive coach, and the host of the Millionaire Woman Show. Today, I wanted to talk to you about coaching for performance. And one of the biggest things when I think about coaching for performance is, again, it's not coming necessarily from having a crucial conversation or a constructive place, but it's really being able to have a conversation in which someone is growing and learning. So being able to set the stage. And when you identify that there's something that needs to be coached, this could be an emerging leader, this could be someone in your organization that is missing skills, abilities, or can take their talents to a whole new level. And this can happen in your own families, it can happen in a business, it can happen in an organization. However you want to tailor this video, you are all leaders in your own way and different situations. So pay attention to the nuggets that I share with you today. Take some notes. Feel free to comment below, share this video with others so that you can step into the leader that you're meant to be through this leadership series and today's lesson of coaching for performance. So when you identify that there's something to be coached, I want you to keep in mind that it must be timely manner. It must be given in a time frame that is close to the event where you've noticed the behaviors. If it's 3 months, 6 months down the road and there's no recent event to reflect it on, it is irrelevant. It doesn't take as much meaning to it as doing it swiftly, doing it when it needs to happen so that the corrective action and learning can happen very quickly. Often the lessons we need to learn need to be within that time frame where we have that reflection, to where there's still emotion involved for someone to make a shift in behavior. And the other thing, as a coach or the leader that you want to step into your conversation, you need to do a self-check yourself. You need to be in the right mindset to have that conversation with the employee or your partner or stakeholders or someone in your family. You need to be in the right mindset yourself. You need to seek to understand. You want to come from a learner perspective. That means being curious. And if you haven't gotten my book yet, it's called Let's Be Curious: How to Ask the Right Questions, Get Better Answers, so you can create what you want. And it's very beneficial in developing that critical thinking, anticipatory questions, and thinking about how I can help ask a question that's going to be something that gets me the results that I want. But until we know what questions to ask, we can lose ourselves in assumptions and conclusions and not be clear in our objective of having these conversations. So when you're going in to have a conversation with someone, really think about your intention. Am I coming here to correct behavior to get this certain result? Am I here with the intention to develop and grow and just have a developmental conversation and helping someone improve, or in a mentoring style? But often it comes down to performance. It comes down to behaviors. But when you're coming from a coach approach, you're really wanting to come from a place of curiosity so you can understand another individual's thinking and how they approach a situation. I don't want to, get them on the defensive side when you're coming with the intention to support. So you want to avoid the questions of, why did you do that? How come you did that? It feels like you're being scolded. And that's not going to set the stage for a productive conversation. So you want to be able to open the conversation with a starter. Can you tell me more about this situation? Can you share in what ways this occurred? So when you come from that place of what or tell me more, it's an open-ended question. It's an open-ended statement to encourage some dialogue so that you can hear the whole story. And you're getting one perspective. That's why when people are witnesses to an accident, you get so many different versions of a different story because everyone has a different perspective. And somewhere in there, we're going to find the truth of what happens, right? So we really want to understand another person's perspective, ask questions to maybe offer a different perspective to see how they see the situation. Once you offer something different, is it possible that you missed this? Or is it possible that this was missing? You know, looking for the possibilities where the gap exists. And you want to ensure that you're creating that safe place, whether you're delivering, you know, constructive conversation or praise. Not everybody likes to be praised in public. So you might want to pull them aside and say, hey, you're doing a good job. I want to tell you that we value what you're doing. You're helping meet deadlines, and, you know, the impact. People want to know that they're making a difference, that they're valuable. And if it's a constructive one, again, you want to provide that safe place to provide that feedback, still honoring that they're valued and sharing that they need to shift into a different behavior. So start the conversation with the opener, allow the person to share their story without judgment, without opinion, because it's human nature to judge. Let's face it. That's how we we see how we fit in with things. And then we make adjustments based on the judgment because we're comparing. But that can also put us in a trap, and that judgment can lose opportunity, an opportunity to connect with someone, to learn something about them that could be beneficial. So really being curious and reflect back what you hear. Don't get ready to jump in with the next question. The right question will come to the surface as you listen and you reflect back by saying, so what I hear you saying is, and listing some of the key points that you've heard. Don't hesitate to share some of the observations in the body language that you've witnessed as well. You know, whether they have a shoulder shrug or they have eye blocking, or, you know, you could sense a change in their posture. Being able to be very intuitive and let that next question come to the surface. Confirm that you have the right information. Again, you don't want to be making any assumptions. So really coming from a place of being very present, listening fully, and then being able to reflect back what you're hearing. The biggest thing, what you're looking for, is to uncover the gap between knowing and doing. Often we know things that we need to be doing. Think about the things in your life. You probably have things that you know you could be doing better, but you're not doing them. You're in the same state. So for discovering the gap between what we know we need to do and what we need to do to get the results that we want. So is there insight and awareness? If someone doesn't have insight, you need to ask a different question, maybe offer it in a different way, provide a case study for that aha moment to come to the surface. And sometimes those aha moments do not come within that coaching conversation that you have. It might take a day or two. It could take 3 weeks down the road, where all of a sudden they remember parts of the conversation and it all comes together and fits. That desire to change, that motivation within, when you start having these conversations and people see and have the insight and awareness to the behavior that needs to change to start getting the results that you want, then they're more apt to make those changes. However, if you're just telling them you need to do this and you're, exposing them critically, you're not going to see the change, because nobody wants to be told what to do, right? Nobody wants to say, you do this or that, right? You need to come from a place of understanding, encouraging the behavior change, and you also want to ensure, because as a leader, as a coach, the biggest thing is, does this individual have the tools to set themselves up for success? Do they have the knowledge? Do I need to send them to a course? Do they need to take a course online? Do they have the ability? Do they have the skill set? Did I hire properly? Really thinking about these different places that you also contribute to. Do they have the tools? Do they have the resources? Do they have the time frame that's realistic for them to accomplish the work that I need them to do? Really coming from a place of understanding, because you might realize that that gap needs to be filled by you, or that gap is missing a piece that would really help them do a better job. So have that your own reflection to see and asking, what is it that we could be doing better or differently? Be curious. Involve them in the solution. Allow them to engage in the process of what sets them up for success. What are the strategies that they feel that they need? Let them answer. The coach, the leader, should not be doing the heavy lifting. We want them to be able to experience and learn from the situation of what they would do. We're developing that critical thinking as well to help them move to a new level of understanding of themselves, and also the results that we need to see, because we want to optimize that performance. And one of the ways that you need to do that is ensuring that you have a follow-up plan. Like, after you've offered some feedback, allow some time for them to integrate it into their practice, allow some time for them to grow into who they need to be. It could be a 72-hour check-in. It could be a week later, it could be 2 weeks, or even a month, that you're going to follow up with them. Allow them some time to really implement what they've been coached on, and making sure that they have that awareness, because nothing changes unless there's awareness. And one of the things I'm famously quoted for is, once you are self-aware, there is no turning back. So when you are aware of something, you need to change, you need to shift. As Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. But if someone doesn't have the insight and awareness to know better, how can we expect them to perform differently? So provide that reinforcement, to follow up, check in, do that reflection, readjustment on the course, and then continue forward. Let's set everyone up for the success that they truly deserve, so that you can start getting the results, the outcomes, and the profits that you ultimately want as you move forward. Thank you for joining me. I'm Debra Kasowski. Please go over to my website at www.debrakasowski.com, where you can, sign up for my free video course called Making Habits Stick. And what it will do is help you build focus and consistency in making those habits stick on your journey to reaching your goals. Course is completely free, 3-part video course, and you will identify some of the, derailers that are keeping you off track from making those things happen. So I'd love for you to go in and put in your email, and you will also then be able to receive the Success Secrets newsletter with powerful information that can transform your business or your organization, taking you to the next level. Go out and have a fabulous day. Thank you for joining me.